everyone, and welcome to Babies with Knives. This is Crash Course Corner, where we teach you the basics of how to play a game system. I'm Alice Peng, aka Lala Twiddle on the boards.
And I'm Brandon Powers. Today is part 2 of our series on Supergame, where we will be taking a look at characters. In part 1, we discussed the basic mechanics of Supergame, and there is a link to that video below.
Supergame doesn't use traditional character sheet. The game is designed in a way that everything a character should need for their stats should fit neatly onto an index card. Before pencil meets paper for making a character, players and directors should decide on the scale of the game. Scale changes the power level of the heroes, as a cosmically powered spaceman with arctic breath, laser eyes, and flight so powerful he can change time might not be appropriate when the rest of the group's imagining fighting low-powered drug dealers and local protection rackets.
There are 6 scales provided in Supergame, ranging from local all the way up to the cosmic and beyond. The scale of the game provides points to make a character, ranging from 45 for local heroes all the way up to 150 and more for transcendental heroes. Additionally, the scale creates some limits on how high various abilities can be purchased and a maximum on modifiers that can be added to the dice.
Scale also determines how many hero points a character will have. The lower the scale, the more hero points a character earns. Once scales is determined, players should come up with their concept, type of superpowers, and their nature, basically the entire character's motivation. Character creation goes quickly in a few easy steps in Supergame. First, a character should sit down with a concept. The book provides a few example ideas of the concept that you could have. Tied into the concept is the origin of a character's power, which can range from intense training, mutant powers, or being an alien.
Ooh. Once a concept and power origin is known, a player should choose a nature for their character. Nature is a combination of the character's outlook on the world as well as their motivation for being a superhero. Duty-bound characters do it out of obligation to someone else or their own code of ethics, while vain characters try to ensure that they remain in the spotlight due to their heroics.
Supergame takes a zoomed-out approach to a character's basic statistics and reduces them down to fitness and insight. Fitness handles strength, endurance, quickness, and agility, while insight is intelligence, perception, intuition, wits, etc.
Basically, if it is physical, a character uses fitness, and if it is more mental, they would use their insight. The scale of the game provides a hard cap for how high an ability rating can get, and both fitness and insight must be at least level 1. Every rank of ability costs 2 points, so a hero with 5 insight would spend 10 points.
Knacks are modifiers to abilities that provide bonuses for actions. A character that speaks a lot of languages, is famous, beautiful, knows a guy in any situation, or wins quiz night at the pub would have a knack to represent their abilities. Knacks can also provide entirely new actions to a character, such as having an instant change or the ability to read lips.
Knacks are primarily designed to be used out of combat. Optionally, combat knacks can be taken to modify actions in combat. Groups can use faults to provide bonus points to a character in exchange for penalties on certain actions. While Supergame provides a large list of various example knacks, players are encouraged to make their own and submit them to the director for approval. Each knack costs 2 points, while faults provide 2 bonus points.
Supergame groups powers into power clusters. Characters need to both increase their rank in a given cluster as well as buy individual powers within that cluster. Increasing the value of a cluster takes 1 point up to the cap base on the scale of the game. The individual powers within the cluster have varying point costs.
The one exception to this is the Mystic Cluster, which takes 4 points to raise and has no associated powers.
Individual powers are generic. A character that takes physical strikes from the Brute Cluster might define that as claws, martial arts mastery, or intense vibrations. Each looks and feels different, but are represented by the same power and rules.
To increase the unique feel, powers should choose an expression. The expression is the flavor of the power, and expressions that are opposite of each other gain a +1 to +3 bonus if they are considered superior in a given situation. This could mean that the fire character melts the ice character's armor, while the ice character would gain bonuses when fighting fires.
Aspects of powers can be made to feel even more different through the purchase of modifiers. The modifiers are chosen for the entire power cluster, so a character in the brute cluster that purchases 3 different powers would only need to buy the area modifier to affect multiple targets with their brute powers once.
Drawbacks can be purchased for individual powers or their entire cluster. Each individual power can only have one associated drawback, whether that drawback was picked for the power or the cluster. Drawbacks for a power provide 2 bonus points, while cluster drawbacks provide 4 bonus points.
Lastly, powers within a cluster can be modified up to by reducing the power of other powers within the same cluster. This allows the character to fine-tune their characters to represent their vision rather than having powers at a uniform level.
Power clusters in Supergame are Brute, Shield, Transit, Psych, Ego, Sensory, Matter, Endowment, Energy, Exotic, and General. In addition, the Mystic cluster can mimic powers from any of the clusters.
Characters learn skills equal to their insight rank. The skills are associated with fitness or insight depending on if they are mostly physical or cerebral in application.
When a character needs to take an action and they don't have the appropriate skill, if the action would require specialized training, the difficulty of the task is increased by 2. Actions that require extreme training are completely foreign to the character or are part of an advanced skill can't even be attempted without the appropriate skill.
By this point, the character is nearly completed, and there are a few remaining values that need to be handled.
Initiative is the total of fitness and insight and will determine when a character goes during sequential scenes.
Toughness, a character's physical resilience and ability to dodge, equals fitness plus some modifiers from powers or knacks.
Willpower, a character's mental fortitude, equals insight plus modifiers from appropriate powers and knacks.
Finally, movement rates and carrying capacity use fitness and values provided on the benchmark chart. With this crash course, you should have all the tools you need to understand characters and character creation in Supergame. If you're interested in more, the Babies with Knives have a Supergame system crash course, and keep your eyes out for our character creation demo and Supergame actual play.
If you have any questions or comments, you can find us on Facebook and Discord, links to both provided below. Thank you for joining the Babies with Knives. Come back next time to get honed.